Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you are all having a great day to start things off. One of the premium Singapore-based cryptocurrency exchange mining arms, known as Huobi Pool, has finally gone live with the Huobi EOS exchange. As they promised to crypto enthusiasts, the exchange platform will be completely dedicated exclusively to EOS, and it got launched within the first quarter of 2019, as they stated. The Huobi platform will have EOS traded against Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Tether. Trading with these top coins will likely open up a new dimension to the ecosystem. The fundamental objective of this unique initiative is to boost the trading of the fifth most valuable trading digital currency in terms of its market cap. Earlier in 2018, when Huobi Pool laid its first steps into the crypto space. From then onward, the mining arm has continued to nurture this goal. Okay, tooting their own horn. The platform seeks to improve the trading services of EOS-related digital assets. It is also motivated to develop a benign EOS ecosystem and ensure a secured trading facility. The platform is working towards expanding its range of cryptocurrencies and striving to push up the trading liquidity. The goal of the trading platform is to ensure a world-class experience to its traders, along with supporting different coins and languages. So that's wonderful news. I always talk about, and I like to talk about, when different coins get added to different cryptocurrency exchanges. And what we're seeing right now is this kind of base coin revolution, where many different cryptocurrencies are being listed as the base token on they don't even have to be major crypto exchanges. I think it's significant because we lived a long history in crypto where things were denominated exclusively against Bitcoin, and now we see that as altcoins continue to become more and more popular, it's only logical that as a lot of these cryptocurrency projects have money behind them, they're going to start partnering with different cryptocurrency exchanges to say, hey, list us as your exclusive thing. They only have Bitcoin, Ether, and Tether listed along with EOS right now. I can only assume, if they're smart enough, that they'll list it with at least the top 50 coins. But as of right now, these are what we have. Kind of interesting. So if you've noticed a trend, it seems to be very specific coins that are being listed as base pairs. We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ethereum's never really like a base pair. It's always like a pair that's merged with Ethereum. Like, you can either choose Bitcoin or Ethereum, but Ethereum has never been like an exclusive base pair on any exchange yet. XRP is now an exclusive base pair on multiple exchanges. I assume Huobi EOS exchange is probably the only one for EOS. We still have yet to see, at least to my knowledge, a Tron based one. I think there's like a decentralized exchange that has Tron listed. A Stellar one, nothing that comes to mind. A Litecoin one, and I guess a few other coins haven't really maybe made it there as of yet, but I can only assume as time continues to go on, there's probably some type of partnerships in the background that we may just not know about. Anyway, thought this was kind of cool. It's always good to see another base pair, and it's always nice to see that they're attached to other coins to increase the liquidity of the market. That's how it goes. Next up, here we go. Galaxy Digital, the crypto merchant bank of the U.S. billionaire known as Michael Novogratz, has added privacy-oriented virtual coin known as ZCash to its over-the-counter trading desk. The asset has been supported in Galaxy Digital's trading two-sided liquidity solution. This was said by ZCash or ZEC Company, the body that develops the coin, in a press release on Thursday. Novogratz's OTC targets a variety of market participants. Among them are hedge funds, venture capital firms, high net worth individuals, and pension funds. Are pretty much, they're targeting very rich people. Currently, the platform supports a broader portfolio of coins, but with the focus on several of them, namely Bitcoin and Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Monero, Dash, Ethereum Classic, and Bitcoin Gold. Zcash has already been added to that list. Mike Novogratz, if you were wondering why there's like a very specific kind of coins, the easiest way to explain it is Mike Novogratz is one of the people who got into Bitcoin, or is noted as having got into Bitcoin relatively early, around the $10 mark. He's a billionaire. He threw a whole bunch of money into Bitcoin. When he found out about Ethereum, I think Ethereum, so the story goes, if you've ever watched Mike Novogratz sitting on a panel on a stage, and he's talking about exactly how he got so crypto rich. He said that he actually ran into Vitalik Buterin somewhere, spoke to him, found out that he was creating something that was similar to Bitcoin. He wanted to jump into it. I think ended up going to his office in Brooklyn, some weird type of story like that, and asked him how he could like buy shares in the company. Vitalik said, you can't buy shares, but you can buy some of our coins. He apparently bought in Ethereum at $1. So saith the Mike Novogratz. And this is why it has Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum Classic, because of the forking situation. So he is very pro Bitcoin. If you listen to him when he's talking, he's excessively pro Bitcoin. And I think as of late, so he has this fund that comprises all of these coins over here. But very recently, he's also become very pro EOS, if I'm not mistaken. It's him. Maybe Tim Draper, I can't remember. I definitely know Mike Novogratz is one of them. He stays away from certain coins on purpose because he does not own them. It's kind of maybe just investor life, I guess. They said, we look forward to the continued development of the blockchain token ecosystem that is fundamentally changing the world. This was said by Yoshi Nakamura, global head of sales at Galaxy Digital, explained in the ZEC press release. Along with Galaxy Digital, ZCash is available on its three main competitors: digital currency group Genesis Trading, Cumberland Trading Desk, which is the OTC arm of U.S. financial service giant DRW, and the OTC platform of Circle, the company behind stablecoin USD Coin. No need to read anymore. The point is that ZCash has been listed on the over-the-counter trading desk. Kind of cool. Yeah, we typically don't hear a lot about Zcash or Dash or Monero, to kind of be fair. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Zcash was also listed on the Gemini exchange. As far as I know, I told you guys before, from a money standpoint, I don't touch privacy-based coins simply because governments have been calling them out. However, that doesn't mean that the prices won't continue to go up on these coins in the future. But I think Zcash has a feature where you can have private transactions. You can lower the shields, air quotes, if you will. So this is why I think it's being added to a couple of places, because I assume at this point, as a major platform such as this one, and the Gemini exchange, and I think also Coinbase added that they were thinking of adding Zcash, if I'm not mistaken. It kind of comes down to the fact that I have a feeling that this was kind of given the green light by regulators, because the other coins have not. Once again, not to say that I don't like these types of coins. It's more like I'll deal with them for fun as opposed to actually trying to make money on them. Anyway, very good news for Zcash and EOS. It's nice to hear that these things are slowly being added to other places, because for some reason we went a couple of years, even 2018, where a lot of these coins weren't being added to different platforms. Everyone was kind of Bitcoin, Ethereum focused. So it's nice to see that everyone is branching out at least a tiny bit. In incredibly interesting news, cryptocurrencies are apparently one of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission's top examination priorities this year. This is apparently according to an official document that stated this on the 20th of December. In the SEC's Office of Compliance, Inspections, and Examinations, or the OCIE report, digital assets specified as cryptocurrencies, coins, and tokens are included among the 6 themes for the OCIE's 2019 examination priorities. The report states that the office is planning to focus on monitoring the emerging market and enforcing compliance with existing laws. They said OCIE will continue to monitor the offer and sale, trading, and management of digital assets, and where the products are securities, examined for regulatory compliance, end quote. In terms of other goals of the office's examination of crypto, the document also declares, in particular, through high-level inquiries, OCIE will take steps to identify cryptocurrency market participants, end quote. The report states that the office will examine portfolio management of digital assets, trading, safety of client funds and assets, pricing of client portfolios, compliance, and internal controls of crypto companies. So apparently, we thought 2018 was going to be the time frame that the SEC was going to kind of make crypto a priority, as they stated. But apparently, according to this document, it's now going to be 2019. If you are holding your breath, let it go, because I have a strong feeling if timing is any indication of how long this is probably going to take, I can only assume we are probably not going to hear anything from the SEC on any count over here, maybe until like December 32nd of this year. And if you got the joke, you definitely got the joke. They've been incredibly sluggish. I understand that crypto is a brand new thing. They're trying to figure out how to control it and how to put their stamp on it and say that we control and you have to come to us for this. I don't think they're going to actually end up doing it. A lot of people, even in the traditional financial world, believe that they're actually going to come to this and do this in 2019, simply because I think midway through 2018, a lot of them were talking on different panels and stuff like that, not the SEC members, but other people from crypto, and they were like, yeah, it's looking like 2019 is now going to be the year of crypto, because I think everyone had kind of lost all the hope in 2018 for the SEC to kind of give any valid information on anything. Remember, 2018 was supposed to be the year where they told us which coins were securities and which coins were not securities, but apparently, according to other people on different panels on different events, the SEC was apparently afraid of doing this simply because of, I guess, maybe lawsuits that were already put on their table from other coins that they had declared securities. However, apparently this is one of their top priorities. It is believed widely in the traditional financial space that the crypto market will not move efficiently or on a more liquid basis until we get some type of regulation from the SEC. It kind of is what it is. Anyway, let's move on. Here's something quite interesting. Where is it? It says the blockchain project known as Litecoin reached a new milestone, as there are now 60 million LTC that have been minted, as per information provided by Litecoin.com, on Medium, and Litecoin block half. I can only assume that is also another .com. The Litecoin algorithm has set the limit of LTC to be mined at 84 million. The new benchmark of 60 million signifies that approximately 71.5% of all Litecoin meant to be ever existed or to exist have been mined. This leaves a total of 24 million Litecoin left to be mined. Also to note is that the Litecoin block mining reward is adjusted every 840,000 blocks, and a process properly known as the halving. The next halving has been estimated to occur around the 8th of August of this year. This leaves approximately 208 days till the coin reward for each block decreases from 25 Litecoin to 12 Litecoin. The halving event will push the next milestone of 70 million Litecoin mined to around 2022. Litecoin.com also gives the following time frame as to when the last LTC will be mined. And I'll read it and I'll tell you why this is interesting. They said the final Litecoin is estimated to be mined sometime in 2142. That is 100 and some years away, according to the mathematics of the system. At this point, the block reward for Bitcoin will be 0.00000042 Litecoin that'll be mined all the time, which is basically like dust at that point. What's interesting here is that this is probably, and I mean the first time that I'm actually ever seeing this number. For a very long time, when we pretty much only had Bitcoin and Litecoin as the coins that were floating around the cryptocurrency space. We also had Peercoin and WorldCoin and blah, blah, blah coin, so and so. When these were the only two important coins, no one had any time frame as to when the last Litecoin was going to be mined. We know for Bitcoin, I think it's the year 2140 as well. So this one apparently is going to be happening a tiny bit after, well, 2 years, not a tiny bit, after that actually ends up happening. So it's actually interesting to see that we have an estimated year at least. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. Litecoin is just very like this weird gray coin for me. It's kind of interesting that the project is still going. A lot of people are very excited about the reward getting cut in half. Not really much more to say about that. It will be kind of interesting to see. Actually, I think it says it's somewhere around here as well. Yeah, actually, I'll read through this as well, and it gets kind of interesting. Back in December of 2017, 2 years ago, and during the last great crypto bull run, the creator of Litecoin warned that the digital asset would plummet in value to around $20. His exact tweet warned that the digital asset's value would drop by 90%. This was at a time when Litecoin was soaring at around $300. The significance of all of this is that a lot of people were very upset with Charlie Lee because around this time, no one knows the exact date or whatever the case might have been, Charlie Lee predicted that the price of Litecoin, which I think ended up hitting, it was either $340 or rather like $420, somewhere around that number, that it was going to fall in price. And everyone was like, dude, shut your mouth. Why are you talking about something that you created that's going to fall in value? Also around this time, it appears that that Charlie Lee sold his Litecoin. Some people say that he did not sell his Litecoin. He noted before in many tweets that he actually did sell his Litecoin. People say that he gave it away. Apples and oranges. Who really cares? He doesn't have them anymore. What's interesting is that we lived in a world where prices were going so high and we were all so euphoric. No one could actually see or foresee any coin dropping in value, especially Litecoin floating around the $300 to $400 range and falling back down to $20. That was something that seemed completely unbelievable, and people were very upset at him. He said in his tweet, and I do quote, he said, "Okay, sorry to spoil the party, but I need to rein in the excitement a bit. Buying Litecoin is extremely risky. I expect us to have a multi-year bear market like the one we just had, where Litecoin dropped 90% in value from $48 to $4. So if you can't handle LTC dropping to $20, don't buy." I think a lot of people weren't here when this happened. For those who are newer to the cryptocurrency space, once again, welcome. There was such an immense amount of backlash against Charlie Lee, and I think this is why a lot of the cryptocurrency space still has like a negative sentiment against him. To be fair, I mean, in all of it, he was correct. I think at that time, first of all, we knew that the words of the cryptocurrency creators had an effect on the movement of the prices of their coins. Like every single time that Vitalik came into the news and said something uplifting and talking about the future of Ethereum, we saw the price of Ethereum go up. There isn't really a face, like Andreas Antonopoulos couldn't really say things and the price would move. But every single time that any coin creator came forward and said something, the prices would go up. So the fact that we had a coin creator tell us that the coin was going to go down in value did not bode well with many people in the cryptocurrency space. But lo and behold, it actually ended up going that low. I think, where did it go? It said, Litecoin ended up hitting $23 on the 15th of December of last year. And yeah, I think it's currently floating around the $30 range. Anyway, I thought that was very interesting to see exactly what happens, I guess, a year and some change later. We were not the entire cryptocurrency space. There was also a post by Vitalik who said that he felt that Ethereum was overvalued, and that also set off a huge backlash. I mean, to be fair, I think a lot of the people who created these coins, they actually do legitimately care more about the things that they've created than the actual price of them, because they're trying to see them continue on a long term and not just be price based. But it's kind of weird when you have a creator talk about the price of their coin saying that it's overvalued. It's just kind of a money no-no. Like, you really wouldn't hear Tim Cook release a new, like the iPhone 1, 2, 3, 4 or something like that and talk about how the Apple stock is overvalued. Just not something that typically ends up happening. Anyway, let's move on. And also some kind of pretty cool news. Where is it? The teams at Wirex and Waves have worked together to integrate the digital asset on the popular crypto debit card. Wirex allows its users to buy, store, and manage a variety of cryptocurrencies. Waves joins the major digital assets of Bitcoin, LTC, XRP, and Ethereum on the Wirex platform. Pavel Matveev, CEO and co-founder of Wirex, was very optimistic about what the future held for the new integration. He was primarily impressed with how the Waves platform is a bridge between the web and the blockchain. Wirex is also bridging the gap between traditional and digital currencies and their usage in day-to-day life. He explained how Waves would fit into their operations. He said, Wirex provides extra liquidity for cryptocurrencies and gives investors the ability to convert and spend their crypto instantly with our Wirex Visa card, not paid promotion or any promotion at all, really. Investors who buy Waves through our platform will know that they are safe, with a safe, agile, cost-effective service. In addition, our existing users will have another strong and popular token to add to their portfolios. kind of cool. I like talking about news like this. I believe that crypto will have a very difficult time being a payment option if it kind of stays the way that it will. But I think as we tap our cards and swipe our cards and do whatever we do with debit and or credit cards right now, we find an ease of purchase. I have a strong feeling that these things are going to catch on. And this is just kind of my opinion. I know we have Wirex. I know we have, I think, 10X. They all have this like X at the very end. There are also a couple of other cards. I believe this is, so if crypto ends up taking off like I think it's going to do in 2019, maybe even if we have to wait to mid 2019, I assume that we're going to start receiving information and or news from different banks and different companies and stuff like that who are going to be launching their own crypto debit cards. We've already seen banks before in the past announcing that they will hold your crypto for you. I would not recommend this action. However, there are going to be people in the world who are going to be using these things, and this is where I think crypto debit cards are definitely going to take off. It's not that. So first of all, if these smaller companies are able to do that, you'd better believe that we're going to have banks and other institutions who are going to be allowing you to deposit your crypto with them, hold your crypto with them, and at the same exact time, they will issue you some type of a debit card to be able to pay in accordance with how much crypto you have. It's going to be very interesting, and that, in my opinion, I think is going to be the start of the actual crypto revolution. As long as crypto is the source of payment, I think it is okay. It may seem like a step back to actually still have to use cards, but unless you can think of something quicker and or easier to use, that's kind of just going to be how it kind of goes. It would be very interesting to see as well. We've seen from the people from Backed, talking about just them right now exclusively, as far as them talking about that they're trying to create an ecosystem, especially with the names that we also had listed and leaked. As far as like Starbucks and Microsoft and maybe even Tesla, which was also spoken about before, that is going to apparently accept cryptocurrencies. I assume that there's some type of a bank also in the background, maybe Bank of America, maybe even JP Morgan, who knows, who's part of this as well. If Backed gets launched and it is successful, I wonder what banks are going to come forward announcing that they're going to be accepting crypto and also are going to be listed in this partnerships, because it seems like it would be kind of weird if there wasn't a bank who's going to try and get in on this as well. Because, I mean, realistically, the moment we have a card that we can tap or swipe that's attached to our crypto in some way, I think the sky's the limit. Like, crypto has to be easy enough for your grandmother, as the saying goes, to be able to use. And I think the vast majority of our grandmothers should be able to tap and or swipe a card. Kind of interesting. But yeah, good job for Waves. Another coin that we don't typically hear a lot about, but it is nice to hear that their liquidity will increase in some sort of way, and also that people will be able to actually use it on a daily basis. Kind of cool. To kind of finish things off, you can hate me if you want. I thought this article was incredibly interesting, and I will give you my thoughts on it after I have gone through it. It's a bit of a doozy, so here goes. According to Simon Morris, who is the former chief strategy officer at BitTorrent, he said Tron will not be able to manage the transaction volume needed to tokenize BitTorrent. This was said by blockchain news website Breaker Mag. They published a couple days ago. According to the interview, Morris noted that when he worked at BitTorrent, he and his team discovered that bringing a token in automated auctions to prioritize download queues would increase the speed of the network by up to 40%. A little bit of a backdrop. When we had news last summer, I think it was around that time frame, when the Tron people, the Tron institution, the Tron Foundation, whatever they call themselves, when they ended up buying BitTorrent, the very next day, I think 11 executives or something like that, 8, 9, 10 executives who were actually working at BitTorrent, I think almost the entirety of their staff actually left BitTorrent, and no one could figure out why. We thought it was because of maybe they didn't like decentralization, maybe they didn't like Tron, maybe they didn't like so-and-so. And this guy kind of goes into it as I read forward. This is why I said it's significant. Like this isn't like some random article. This kind of explains why the people from BitTorrent left the platform as the people who were developing on it. the moment Tron actually acquired them officially, because I think it was Tron and one other cryptocurrency project who ended up acquiring them. I think like the bids were for, I think like 80 million and $100 million, and this was the 120 million that Tron actually ended up paying out. It says, nevertheless, Morris reportedly stated that there is no way the Tron blockchain could handle the transaction volume that such a system would require. According to him, his team needed hundreds of transactions per second just to get started. He added, "You hear all the bull crap out there. Oh, this does 10,000 transactions a second." He says it's all crap. "We were going to melt Tron, literally destroy it," end quote. Further, Breaker Mag reports that according to Morris, there is little reason to believe the other claims about BitTorrent's Tron-based token known as BTT. As Morris allegedly describes Tron, he said, "It's basically a marketing machine layered on a very thin veneer of technology." Explaining his point of view, he reportedly told the news outlet that Justin Sun is very strong in marketing, but that he doesn't have a technical bone in his body. He said, "The approach that bothers me was the very sort of," okay, he goes into political things that I'm not going to mention on this channel. Swinging past that, Morris left BitTorrent in July of last year, reportedly after concluding that he would not be able to develop any trusting relationships with Tron executives. Breaker Mag reported that when Morris confronted Sun about Tron's allegedly plagiarized code and white paper, Sun replied, "We came to the consensus that this did not happen, and we have moved on." For those who that just went over your head and you didn't really understand what happened, like I said, a lot of people are going to be hating me for this. I can feel the thumbs down on this video already, like I really can. We found out when the Tron white paper, so whenever a cryptocurrency comes out, they create something called the white paper. It's kind of like the book that they write about themselves to kind of say what the cryptocurrency is going to be about. Easiest way of kind of explaining it. Tron, the people from Tron created one. People figured out very quick, because we do have a lot of like mathematicians and scientists and analysts going through these things to see if the technical things that they're talking about inside of their white papers are actually viable and possible. They found out that Tron's white paper was actually plagiarized from about 6 different other cryptocurrencies. Whole paragraphs copied and pasted, thrown into the thing. And they're very popular cryptocurrencies as well. Like I think Dash was even one of them. Kind of weird. People were saying that they had plagiarized their code. Justin Sun had said that they didn't plagiarize it, and that this was just something that was commonplace in China or in their culture, and that most people in China took it as it's just something that was accepted. Like it's seen as something that's okay. When they were asking Justin Sun about did they plagiarize it, and plagiarizing the code and the white paper from other cryptocurrency projects, Justin Sun replied, "We came to the consensus that this did not happen, and we have moved on." For those who don't get that, in order to come to a consensus, this pretty much means everyone in the Tron camp spoke amongst themselves and asked themselves, did we plagiarize this? And they all said no. Imagine if a bank destroying the economy in 2008, and instead of going before a judge or before Congress, they were simply allowed to sit into a room, the bank, by themselves, and they were asked to come to the consensus of if they did it or not. And the bank was like, well, I mean, sure, some money went missing, but I don't think we did anything. And then they all raise their hand and they go to the judge and give him a slip of paper that says, we didn't do it. And the judge bangs the gavel and goes, well, they say they didn't do it. And then it kind of goes, and then they move on from there. Very, very weird. Morris reportedly suspects that Tron will actually manage BitTorrent transactions on a central server, and as he says, pretend it is Tron based. According to Breaker Mag, Morris expects the efficiency of BitTorrent will increase as predicted, but he doesn't expect the system to be Tron based. Still, he reportedly noted that centralization could make the system less reliable. A Tron spokesperson told Cointelegraph in private comments that Morris appears to have little insight into BitTorrent's operational plans since his departure. They said actions and execution will prove louder than words of a disgruntled former employee. I feel like one of the main heads of BitTorrent is probably not disgruntled, especially if they left themselves. These people weren't let go. They left. And it was the day after Tron acquired BitTorrent. Kind of interesting. One, a number of other platforms, not even like the top 7 or 8 coins, I'm not going to name these other platforms, have been accused of centralized servers as well before. People have figured out that because it's the internet and you can kind of tell where everything goes, that a lot of other cryptocurrency projects who are trying to be bigger than they already are, they may be in the top 10, top 20, top 30, that people have figured out that in order to be able to say that they can handle a certain number of transactions, they actually have centralized servers in other places, or they've been actually hiring like Amazon Web Services and using their clouds to be able to process these other transactions. And should Amazon go away, or should Amazon, close their account, what have you, their platforms will not be able to do these other things as well. I told you guys this before, and I meant it. Where is it? We heard too many. And I could say this for EOS. I hold EOS. I could say this for Tron. I could say this for every other platform who has announced or listed that they can do 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 transactions per second. Until we get to the point in cryptocurrency that we have these numbers actually being pushed out, everyone has some type of a test net that they've processed a huge amount of transactions on, and they say that it works. And a couple of them have said before in the past that they can, we can handle this many transactions. We can do so and so and so and so. We have not had a real world situation yet for EOS, for Tron, for what's the other one? For Cardano. None of these, where we have seen thousands of things, thousands of dApps, not websites, not anything else, built on top of them, and that they're able to handle these transaction speeds. Because on these platforms, you may hear the word transaction and you may think that's like a payment going back and forth. No, a transaction is everything that you do. Every single click counts as a transaction. Remember a couple of months ago, I was playing, I couldn't play it on the screen. There was a new EOS dApp that just came out, and the point of it was that they moved from Ethereum, because every transaction, every movement on Ethereum, everything that you do counted as a transaction, therefore you kind of had to pay for it in Ether. They moved over to EOS, and every single movement that you did, every jump, every swing, it counted as a transaction. At the end, I can't remember the name of the game. It was a very basic game, but it was still kind of fun. At the very end of the level, it was very interesting because it showed you how much you had spent in transactions. It was 0, of course, and it showed how many transactions that you had processed. So every time you swung your sword, every time you jumped, every time you hit an enemy, it was a transaction on the network, and it showed it was around like 500 transactions that you had processed. So they were trying to show if there were thousands of other people who were playing this game, how many transactions would be processed at the exact same time. The point is, these are blockchains where they're all talking about that they can handle tens of thousands, 50,000. I think Tron has said that they can handle, remember a couple of weeks ago, we had that article where the people from Tron were talking about that they could handle anywhere from 20,000 to 50,000 transactions per second. No one knows these numbers. Like, they're all numbers that are just kind of being thrown out. BitTorrent is not a small platform. They're a massive platform where people transacting things back and forth, especially if the point is, it's supposed to be put on top of the Tron blockchain that supposedly says that they can do 20 to 50,000 transactions per second. I have said before that other developers, and these are not my words, these are the words, and because I'm not a coder, because I'm not a developer, I believe the words of coders and developers. And it's not even like I talk to one person and I'm like, hey, is this real? And they're like, no, it's crap. And I'm like, okay, well, we're done. I listen to the people in the cryptocurrency space because, one, I'm into crypto, therefore I'm going to listen to people in crypto. And typically, I've told you guys before in the past, if you have a situation where you have a, what's it called? If you listen to Andreas Antonopoulos, what's his name? The head cryptographer for Ripple. If you listen to these people over and over and over, you kind of get a consensus. Like, typically when there's like a bad apple in the bunch or something really not trustworthy in the cryptocurrency space, they may hate each other, may not care for each other, but they collectively kind of come together and they attack it at the exact same time on Twitter. And they'll tell you, they'll show you exactly where in the code this is wrong, like how they can't process this, how this can so and so. So we've seen this before for other major cryptocurrency projects. Like, they attack it and they tell you exactly where. Like, they don't just say, oh, this is a crap coin. They tell you exactly what's going on. I've heard before and you've seen these articles as well over the last year. Multiple people have said that Justin Sun he's great at marketing, but he doesn't actually do any of the tech himself. We've heard this many other times before. So myself, more personally, I'm more inclined to believe someone who was a chief strategy officer, and probably even is into the tech on BitTorrent. You know, if you're there for a couple of years, you probably know what's going on with BitTorrent more than Justin Sun. Kind of how I feel about it. For those of you who have your arms crossed or now officially hate me, I want to apologize, but I can't. It's just kind of how things are. It's just the cryptocurrency space. To reiterate my point, I do believe that in the future, during a bull run, my opinion, Tron is going to make people money. I think the price is very low from where it was before. I think we're like a 2-3 cent Tron, something like that, maybe 4 cent Tron. I think it'll go up. Yes. Do I think there are very like long-term prospects for Tron? From what I've been hearing, probably no. And that's not to say that in 15 years, Tron won't be the biggest cryptocurrency that we have. Like, you know, all of our gaming platforms and everything else, you know, we may have like an actual Tron gaming console. That's also a possibility. It's just a very weird project from beginning to end. When people tell you, who are developers, who are things like that, that a certain platform is weird or maybe stay away from it. I told you guys before when there were certain podcasts that I was listening to, and that whenever it was a very weird thing, whenever they would mention the name Tron, all the developers on the podcast, it was like 7 people, they would all chuck it. They would all chuckle because, and they have their, I guess, their own opinions about Tron. Anyway, the point is, this is obviously going to be developing further as time continues to go on. We have heard good and bad about Tron, but to hear that Tron will not be able to, and at some point, the information is going to come to light. So when it does, I will definitely cover it. If I am wrong in my view of Tron, I will apologize, as I've apologized before for many other cryptocurrencies, IOTA being probably the main one, as I couldn't stand IOTA before. At some point, when this has all been integrated properly and BitTorrent is officially 1000% on top of Tron and the BitTorrent token is flying back and forth, people will be able to see the number of transactions that are happening through BitTorrent and through the BitTorrent token, because numbers and math, and they'll be able to calculate if the Tron network is actually handling all of these, or if they're simply also having some type of a centralized server that they're renting from someone else. As we've heard before, interestingly enough, just popped into my head right now, remember last summer when the Tron people said that they had a partnership with some company, and we figured out that the partnership was they were renting their cloud services? Yeah. So we're going to see at some point if this is actually real, what's going to actually happen. It's going to be kind of interesting as we go forward, but didn't mean to spend that much time on it. But you guys know I rant about things that are fairly important to me. It's just a very weird platform, like from beginning to end. Anyway, to kind of finish this off, if you will, crypto prices aren't doing too bad. Bitcoin was 5,600, I want to say, yesterday. No, it was 3690, I think, something like that, because I read an article, they were talking about that in order for Bitcoin to have a bullish week, as in this week right now, Bitcoin had to end the weekend over 3,700. Clearly that didn't work out. We've slipped down a tiny bit. No other coins are doing fairly bad. Interestingly enough, after the rant, Tron is actually up, and so is, sorry about that, and so is, I guess maybe not. Yeah, and Waves is also kind of a tiny bit up, even though it's showing as red over here. Anyway, let's hope that we actually have a nice week. Let's hope that we get some kind of good news as far as like cryptocurrency projects. You may have noticed every crypto project is very silent at the moment. Like none of them, XRP aside, that's kind of given us like news. I think I told you guys before, Garlinghouse said once we pass by the 200 partnership things, he would start giving us more information as to who's going to be using XRP. So that news has, I'm sure you noticed last week, the XRP news was definitely flowing. But other projects, we haven't heard any news from them. Like nothing really, nothing from EOS, nothing from Stellar, nothing really from Litecoin. Tron is always in the news because life, like nothing really from any other major project. So hopefully, as time goes on, maybe they start giving us more news. Maybe this picks up the market a tiny bit. Anyway, I think that is definitely going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Sorry. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. For those who have lasted this long, once again, thank you as always. I think what I'm going to start doing as far as live streams, because I do like live streaming. I think it's actually very good. I like being able to either answer questions or talk about certain situations or like things that are happening in the cryptocurrency space in a live manner, or so that you can actually hear me talking about it and then we can interact immediately. I think my schedule is probably going to be now maybe Tuesdays, Thursdays, and I'm thinking Saturday and Sunday. I try to be as active as I can outside on Saturdays and Sundays, but it may be Saturday or Sunday or Saturday and Sunday. So it's looking like 3 or 4 times a week that I'm going to be live streaming. Let me know what you think. I like the idea of it. I don't want to do it too much during the week because I know a lot of people have to work and stuff like that, but the weekend seems like a more appropriate time to kind of do one Saturday and Sunday. But I also like the idea of doing it during Tuesdays and Thursdays, or as opposed to like Mondays and Wednesdays, or like a Wednesday and Friday. That also seems kind of weird. Anyway, ramble done. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and listening. I do appreciate all of your support. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. See you.